Hello, and welcome to the podcast.
Hello.
How is everybody doing today?
Hi, everybody.
We're the Weirdo Financial Advisors. They're going to teach you something really, really cool today, right? We got a great show, and we're going to move it along. We're going to get it done because Eric's got things to do. We're going to do Financial Word of the Day. Eric is going to hit me with the two truths and a lie, financial related.
Yeah.
So this will be Eric's two truths and one lie, and I've got a guess this time. We're going to talk about SMAs. If you've never heard of that before, I'm going to explain why I will beat your portfolio every single time, and I'm actually going to show you how I will do that, so it's not a magic trick. And then I have a very important question for Eric at the end that you definitely do not want to miss. Are you ready for your financial word of the day, mister?
Let's go.
Have you heard of the word sampling? Not in the music industry, in the investment world. When it comes to building portfolios, in particular index funds, what sampling means. It's okay if the answer is no.
Yeah, I've heard of sampling, and I'm trying to determine, I believe the sampling of things is basically where you're modeling, in a sense, the index, though you're not going to take the whole index. So, if you have the S&P 500, you don't have 500 stocks. You're going to have a portion of those that's going to be basically, it's a sample against the index.
Yep. Very, very good, and 99% there.
Hey, I'll take it.
Term sampling is used when it comes to the unique indexes, like the Russell 2000. It is not possible for an index fund to buy all 2,000 stocks, not because they don't want to, but because like the bottom 150 stocks, they just don't trade that many shares. So if that stock only trades 10,000 shares a day, but the index fund has hundreds of millions of dollars that they need to pour into a particular position or spread out, they would actually manipulate the stock price by buying 50,000 shares. It'd be many multiples of whatever the average share changed hands for the day. So realizing this, they created a model. This is why you can beat any index that you want to. They created a model that says, well, we don't have to buy the entire Russell 2000. We can buy most of it, and then we could just use some sampling, which means they're going to increase the weighting of other positions to generate the same returns that the entire index would generate. And that's how they get around that. So if you ever look up a small cap index fund, look to see how many positions it holds, and you will not see that it holds 2,000 positions. They are sort of mock making their own index. That's not true for the Dow or anything because there's only 30 stocks, very easy to do. But that is the word of the day.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
I love it.
Next one up is, are we going to do two truths and a lie, or you want to talk about SMAs for a minute?
Do the SMA thing, because I think that's an important one. It's coming up a lot lately in the financial world.
Yep. Yeah. And so SMA, basically, if you haven't heard of it, stands for Separately Managed Account. And so a lot of advisors that are out there, you're working with your advisor. And we went to the conference, and they talked about, we went to a conference, and we're like, are we really advisors here? Because are you guys really advisors? Like, what's going on? They talked about, advisors should be on the golf course every day trying to meet potential clients, prospects. That's not us.
Yeah,
I mean, not that we don't, go golfing or something, but it's not something like that we're just out on the golf course every day trying to meet prospects. We're talking to clients and helping and planning and looking at the markets.
So how do they have time to go play on the golf course?
So hiring an SMA, a separately managed account person. So companies will be out there that solely do investing, and they will then basically charge a fee for you to invest with them. So you will pay your advisor a fee, and then you will pay the separately managed account a fee. So there's that, and sometimes this article breaks down potentially higher fees in general. An actively managed mutual fund has an average expense ratio of roughly 0.6 per. MagnifyMoney.com here. SMAs run 0.2 to 1.5, Fidelity 0.65 to 1.8, Merrill as high as 3.1, and as high or 1.8 at Merrill. This one's kind of thrown off. There's a typo there. And as high as 3.1 at Ameriprise. Woo! And so you've got SMA plus the advisory fee sometimes. So you may have let's say 0.25% for the SMA and then 1% for the advisor. You're paying 1.25. They're not even involved in the whole picture of what you're doing. Yep. And so it's a bit different than what we do here at Jazz. And part of that I think you'll be able to allude to here in a minute. But the idea is really just knowing what's going on, being able to control some of that in-house, and avoiding any of these fees. Our goal is to cut the mutual funds, not invest in those, so that we don't have the expense ratios there. We're not working with an SMA. So just know when you're looking out for an advisor, what they are doing with your money. Are you paying 2 fees, 1 fee? Who are you paying money to? Where's it going?
And do you manage your own funds, or do you just hire somebody else to do it? Nothing wrong with that, I guess, but then it's a question of, well, how'd you pick that one? Why didn't you go with this other guy or whatever? And actually, fun fact, when we first started here, the Folio, the brokerage firm, asked us if we wanted to put our models up on their exchange and we could sort of let other people participate. We didn't really make much money from it, but other advisors would use our funds. And then as I would make changes to our funds, those funds would change as well. And we had to stop it because the advisors had so many questions. I'm like, how do you not know this? No, I can't be teaching you on a daily basis. Like you just either participate and shut up, or you can ask questions.
Yeah, we had somebody email not that long ago about that, asking us if we would do that, like an SMA. It's something to set up, and it's a bit labor intensive on our side to, just what you're saying
it's more
there.
support and stuff.
I was saying alluding to. That's the second time I about said it. So maybe that's my new thing.
Is that a trend? Because I haven't heard this, that, and the other in a while.
I've been trying to avoid it. So I have random things that I say.
Good. We're slowly just pointing out words that he says over and over again. And then if we point out enough of them, he'll have no words left. That's the game we're playing.
Is that the goal?
That's the game we're playing. Doesn't matter if you say this, that, and the other, or whatever you want to say, but
eventually I'll just shut up.
There'll be no more words. Hey, hit me with your 2 financial truths and a lie, because I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm on a bit of a horrible losing streak here at Jazz in terms of the games that we play. I could not guess one single soda. That hurts me. Okay. So let me see if I can tell which of your stories is false.
All right. So 2 truths and a lie. So 2 are true, 1 is a lie. First one is, as an advisor, a lot of the advisors were wearing nice shirts for a company that I worked with, and they were tailor-made shirts. So they come in and measure you and do all these things. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this. I don't know why, but I decided to buy me this nice shirt, and it was like sold. The company goes around, Tom James, nothing against Tom James, but wasn't for me price-wise. But so with it, I bought the shirt. And when I bought the shirt, the day I wore it, the first day I wore it, I got an ink stain on it, and it would not come out. Oh. And I've never worn the shirt again, and it was probably a $60 to $100 shirt. I can't remember what I paid for it.
Back then, yeah.
Something foolish.
Okay, got it.
Second one, my grandfather had gotten Alzheimer's, passed away in my early 20s. I was helping kind of take care of him with my grandmother. We all lived close to each other at the time when I was living with my family. And when that happened, I inherited about $30,000 from his passing. And when that happened, I decided I'm going to take $2,000 and save it. And I saved $2,000. I took the rest and I bought a boat.
Okay. Sounds like something I would have done back then.
And the final one was I worked for the fire department prior to getting into the financial industry. And I was there during the '08 crisis. And during that time, they had stopped doing raises. And I was like, well, how am I going to get a raise? And so I started promoting up, which was part of, I wanted to kind of promote. So like I would get a promotion. So I was a firefighter, and then I was an engineer, which I drove the truck and pumped the fires. And then I eventually became a lieutenant, which now they call them a captain at the station, but it's over the station, smaller county department. So I promoted. And as I did that, I was able to increase my pay, but as I was able to increase my pay, I had a 457 or a retirement plan account, deferred account there. I took all of my promotion earnings each time and would pump them away into that 457.
Okay. Those are very good, because I think there's a lot of truth in the various things that you've said, but which story is in fact not truthful? I'm going to go with story number 1. Because I think the grandfather story, I don't think you would have manipulated that story. And I want to hope that you're a good saver, and that's what you did. And you sort of, as your income went up, you saved more. So I'm going story number 1 with the ink stain.
Ah, man.
You bought a boat?
No.
Or you didn't buy a boat?
No. So I did buy a boat at one point in life, but no. My granddad had passed, and actually I did manipulate the story, but I didn't inherit any money. My grandmother's still living, but I do wear his ring. This was actually his original ring. That when I got married, I asked my grandmother. I said, "Hey, would I be able to have his ring?" And so this was the original ring. Story. Number 2 was the lie. Number 1, I did buy this stupid shirt.
I thought that one was not like
it.
as common. It seemed a little off there, but you got me.
And the fire department definitely, I saved some money on that one, so that was what I did.
That
there.
one made sense. I was like, he wouldn't share that if he blew the money, because then it would be like, well, what kind of advisor are you? So I was like, all right.
No, I mean, I've done my fair share of dumb things, and that's why I threw in the buy the boat. I'm like, no, so wasn't that though.
I almost went that route because I was like $2,000, and then he bought a boat. I'm like, seems like he probably would have saved more, but then again, we all do things,
Yeah. No inheritance for this guy yet. I don't know. I mean, maybe it's coming one day from somebody. Maybe
so you haven't seen a penny?
So from nobody. No, I mean, my grandfather passed. My grandmother's living. And I mean, they've got kids, but it's not. I don't want to say it as that. It's just, I don't know. Even my parents, I tell them, I'm like, spend your money. Like, I don't. I'm all right.
Yeah.
My brother would be like, what? What'd you just say? But maybe not. But I feel like I'll earn my own money and save my own. And
have you ever had an inheritance from anything? Anybody?
No, my grandparents, when I turned 16, they did purchase me a vehicle. That was and so other than that, inheritance-wise, no, I've not received any inheritance money.
Yeah, me neither, and I can't think of a family member that is going to participate in that, so we're on our own over here,
Let's do this.
That's why we're learning all these tricks, and like, okay, we got to share this with people.
I've talked to some family, potentially, long term, there might be something left, and maybe for you, maybe you got something coming.
Yeah. Well,
maybe I know something.
You talking to my family and they said I got money?
Well, I know. No, I'm just.
I was gonna say they're lying to you. They're hiding stuff. Okay, let's do this here, and then I'll show you how I'm gonna beat any portfolio you can give me. Then we'll talk about something very important for Eric here, because I have questions, and I think you'll have some questions too.
Let's do it.
Okay, so here's what I did. While Eric was getting ready for the show here, I went in and I created what I just named it something I call the Jazz Aggressive Mix. And what I did is I tried to have different brands of mutual funds. I wasn't trying to be specific. So what I did is I just randomly punched in numbers, and I said Vanguard Institutional Index 42%, Extended Market 30%, T. Rowe Price New Horizons 15%, T. Rowe Price Blue Chip Stock. These are just the first 4 that came to mind. Eric walked in, so I said let's just do it with these. And I'm going to pretend for the moment that my goal is to get the highest return. I was assuming 6%, so I put in here from 2020 to the end of 2022, so we'd have full years. I said, well, let's pretend that a client came to me with this portfolio and said, beat it. I need you to do better, or I'm not going to work with you as a client, or whatever. So I guessed, and I said, this is probably about a 6% portfolio. I don't know, but that's my target return. We can change that number in a minute. So then there's something called the efficient frontier, where if you don't know this, every portfolio has a specific amount of risk that you can take for the optimal amount of return. It's not linear. You can't say, I'm going to invest in the stock market and I'm willing to take more risk, therefore I should get more return. That's true, but it's not a linear model. Otherwise, for those of us that wanted as much return as possible, we would take all the risk in the world to get the biggest amount of risk. So the efficient frontier is part of it's called modern portfolio theory. And it started in the 70s, but it really kind of mathematically developed in the 80s. But efficient frontier says that as you take more risk, your return doesn't go up at the same linear amount. And so what I did is I plotted with this portfolio. I said, okay, given the choices that we have, those 4 funds, I said, I want to plot every single possible percentage. In other words, up here in the right, what you're seeing is you could do 0%, 0%, 0%, and 100% in whatever that fund is. All the way to having 100% in the other. So then it's literally every single combination that you can have is plotted here on the chart for you. Well, to me, this is cool because it's the first time I've been able to share this like visually. The purple is the portfolio that I put in. So in other words, with the 4 funds that I've put in, I am not being as efficient as possible. This is telling me that I am outside of the efficient frontier, which means I am taking more risk for the same amount of return that I could get if I took way less risk. All I have to do is adjust. And so with what I put in here, let's see what this is doing. So I put that the target was 6%. So what this is saying is if you want to take the least amount of risk with these 4 funds and you want 6% returns, in actuality, you just need to be 100% in whatever fund this is, okay? Now, this portfolio returns more, however, it's taking a lot more risk. So what I could do is come over here and just say, well, I just want to adjust the portfolio to fit where I'm getting about the same return as the existing portfolio is, but taking way less risk. In other words, less volatility, less craziness going on there. What would that look like? And that's telling me you want 18.13 in this and 81.87 in this one. That would be the what's called the optimized, or in this case, my optimized portfolio. So now I know that I was wrong by choosing those, the 40% or whatever it was, and I need to make this adjustment in order to have the same level of return with much less risk. In other words, the standard deviation of returns, all that geeky stuff that you look at. And so that combination right there is why I can always beat you. Now, technically, I didn't beat anything, right? All I did was just take less risk. So what I could say here is, you give me this portfolio, I can take anything from all the way up here to all the way down here and still beat you, right? Because all I have to do is take less risk for a greater return. So think of these as little barbs. I could go this way, and I have a portfolio that generates more returns, which you're happy with, but I know you have less risk. So in reality, I could take this portfolio that you gave me and say, hey, guess what? I'm going to adjust it. That's right about there. And I could say, hey, now your portfolio's expected return was just under 7%. I'm going to get you just under 8%. That's more than you would possibly be able to pay us here, so that's awesome. And all I have to do is make this adjustment, and I'm done, right? As far as getting you more returns for the same amount of risk that you're taking now. That's the cool part. Everybody that gives me a portfolio in their 401k or whatever it is, they're always outside. And so all I have to do is go up and say, hey, I won't change a thing risk-wise, but I'll get you a greater return. And that's because we're landing on what's known as the efficient frontier.
Efficient frontier. Super
geeky. And now we have a cool way to visualize that. So I want to start using this with clients where because inevitably we have a client that's like, you've been with you for a while. I got this IRA, it's got some money in it. Show me that it's a worthwhile move to join Jazz or move it over to Jazz. Now I'm going to actually be able to say, here's where you stand. Here's one of the many options that we have. Here's what I suggest.
I like it. Like it.
It was a little long, but
yeah.
The geeky stuff is fun.
No, it's all good. So let me ask you something.
Mm-hmm.
How much money does a skunk have?
Oh, we're doing the joke thing.
Yeah, we're still going to do the joke thing. 1 cent.
Oh.
You see?
You got me on that one.
One.
Okay. I have something for you, actually. I didn't come with a joke today because I think the joke is going to be right here.
Yeah, let's go.
Eric, I'm going to need you to explain, they call it explain the gram. If you'll explain this picture for me, please. That is, in fact, Eric. I have numerous questions, but can you tell me about that picture?
Classic, baby.
Yeah. Which is really odd. We're digging around. Cody put me up to this, digging around the social media there. And Eric, pretty clean-cut guy, right? He's got a little Hollywood thing going on. That is not Eric.
That is awesome.
Can you take me back in time and tell me what is going on there?
Yeah. That's an old country boot scooting boogie place around where I lived. Back probably, early 20s. Working for the fire department, so I had my little fire department charm on there, like you could see, like on my necklace, and little mustache. So all the guys had mustache. I couldn't do the mustache thing, and so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it just for fun, just a little bit. And then I grew the hair, and I did the mullet. So right this second, if you actually look, I mean, like Morgan Wallen, one of the famous like country singers, right this second has a mullet. I was just a little before the time of the comeback.
Dude, that's Cyrus.
Billy
Ray Cyrus.
Yeah. Or like Blake Shelton, I think, had the mullet at some point, I think, if I remember right.
My joke for this is, so it's kind of a cropped picture because it was on the social media, but so just picture this for a second. There's a campfire in the background, and there's a bunch of good old boys drinking beer, but it's hot outside because it's in Florida. So Eric is unshowered. He is sweating the smell of beer, And possibly, I would say he's having a good time, but he's regretting his choice in denim pants for this evening's festivities. And I'm gonna guess that he hopped in a truck on his way home, probably in the back,
In the back.
in the back. Yeah, that's what I'm going with.
And so
Did I not paint a good picture? I mean, that's it.
That is like if you just wanted to paint like an imaginary picture. On the left side, or one side of me was actually my wife. Now, we were dating at the time, and the other side is her best friend, my best friend's wife. So they married him. So
In reality, it's Sunday and you guys are walking out of church.
we weren't walking out of church. We weren't walking out of church, but yeah, I love to do weird things with my hair, and that's why. So I did the mullet. I one time did where I wish I had the picture. I got to try to find it. If somebody has it, I don't have it. So I actually shaved my head on the top one time, like literally the entire top with a razor, and left the sides like an old man, the horseshoe.
Why? They make wigs.
And then I put my hat on, and then I went to work at the fire department, and then I like walked in and everything's good, and then I just casually just took my hat off and sat down. And they were like, "What?"
That's commitment right there.
So I just used to have fun with it because I knew it'd grow back. And see, now I'm in the last hurrah because it's not growing back. I'm losing hair.
Take it from me.
And I mean, people are very particular on their stuff. I'm just like, hey, let's have some fun with it. It's just hair. So hopefully people don't lose respect.
So if you're still watching, I painted a picture for you. Please, in the comment section, paint a picture of what you think is actually going on behind that picture. There's not really anything going on. It's just, what do you see?
Yeah. I'm sure there's one person that comes to mind that's going to comment on
this.
this.
Who can relate, by the way.
Yeah. Legit.
I love it. Yeah. Okay, well, that's my joke of the day. So
I like it.
Enjoy.
All right.
So you can't find one about me. I'm just always right in there with the stuff.
We'll see. We'll see about that. We will see.
Well, enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for watching, and let's see what you come up with for Eric there. Hope you learned something, too.
And adios.
Adios. I've been forgetting my adios.
I know.